Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Lucy, the eternity she wished for. This is part 3. We have just met Dr. Gears and have noted his admiration for androids. Before I knew it, it was already time for the final class of the day. At last, another monotonous day of school was coming to a close. But it feels as if this lecture will go on for eternity. Time seems to be inching along at a turtle's pace. The chalkboard is filled with scribbles that are barely decipherable. It makes it much more difficult to understand the lesson, which is already painfully tough to begin with. Ugh. I can't take this anymore. The teacher is also awful at explaining things. His words go through one ear and right out the other. Unable to hold back the incoming fatigue, I let out a small yawn. Looking around me, it doesn't seem like anyone else is doing much better. All the unreasonable, pushy teachers have something in common. They never explain anything in the simplest way. They always makes everything seem more complicated than it needs to be. Bunch of rotten snobs, that's what they are. Sounds like Occam's Razor. Is this guy a fan of Occam's Razor? Nothing in this world lasts forever. The teacher's dreadful onslaught of words ultimately comes to an end. Watching a politician give a speech is probably much less infuriating. All that's left now is to go home. Time to get out of this place. Feeling like a prisoner who's just been set free, I quickly pack up my belongings. I wave goodbye to Dr. Gears and head home. I just noticed the banner on the left side that says MViz Lab. Very subtle marketing there. On the way, I suddenly realized something. I'd completely forgotten about my android at the repair shop. I almost ended up heading straight home. I doubled back toward my new destination. I arrive at the shop. By looking through the windows, I could see that the place isn't too busy. There are just a handful of people wandering about. But the repairman himself, I can't find him. Without hesitation, I enter the building.
Antique shop へようこそ。何かお探しですか?
As soon as I set my foot inside, I was immediately greeted by a female staff. The voice had a sweet, vibrant texture. Ooh. Love that word, texture, to describe a voice. It's beautiful. It really caught me off guard. I never expected a girl to be manning the store. I guess she's a part-timer. I turn around to face the person calling out to me, and my jaw drops to the floor. It takes a while for her to recognize me. When she finally does, her face lights up instantly. Fully functional, are we? It was the android named Lucy Valentine who had greeted me at the door. Are my eyes playing tricks on me? There's no way that useless thing could be standing there talking to me. There isn't any hint of awkwardness in her smile. To reaffirm my I'm having a stroke. To reaffirm my suspicions, I check once more. Lucy. You're Lucy, right?
Hi. そうですよ。Lucy は他でもない Lucy です。
I was correct, it seems. What happened to you?
はい、マスター。どうなっているかと言いますと
That voice. And your face. And you're standing on your own, right?
もちろんです、マスター。ルーシーは今、2本足で立っているんです。えへん。
Lucy puffs up her chest, looking proud. I mean, that's not really something to be proud of, but thinking back to how she was before, it was damn well impressive. You do look better now, so there's nothing wrong with you anymore?
はい、マスター。今のルーシーは体が軽く、すぐにでも飛べそうなくらいですよ。
After those words, she does a little ballerina spin in place. She had the appearance of a mature, well-pampered maiden, yet at the same time looked silly like a child. But her spin abruptly ends as she crashes onto the floor. And there goes my peace of mind.
まだ元通りにはなってないみたいですね。
Lucy smiles sheepishly. While that's going on, I'm staring at her with a loss for words. Her perfectly natural, non-robotic human voice. Her personality full of rich human emotions. Her face showing all kinds of believable expressions and reactions. And her freely moving arms and legs. To say that I'm amazed would be a gross understatement. I'm so amazed that I'm at a loss for words. My brain has turned to mush. My vocabulary has all been forgotten. I wouldn't show it on the outside, of course. Losing control of your emotions reveals your weakness. Well, honestly, it's not just because of that. I also didn't want to admit to her that I was surprised. What a change in a matter of few hours. This is amazing.
初めてマスターに褒めてもらいました。嬉しい。
I'm trying to match the text with the words, so I apologize if there's a delay before I advance. I'm complimenting the guy who fixed you up, not you.
そんな。
The look of disappointment on her face was quite surreal. How can I possibly explain this? Magic? Had she been enchanted by a witch? Old stories from childhood come to mind. The nine-tailed fox who desired to become human. The little mermaid who also wished to become human. What happened to them? They never ended up fulfilling their own wishes. But this robot makes me think. If that little mermaid's wish ever came true, wouldn't she be celebrating just like this? Alright, enough of these silly thoughts. I should be looking for the repairman. But the problem is I've already spent some time searching, and he's nowhere to be found. Say, what happened to that guy who put you in charge?
はい。店長さんは必要な物資を調達するために出かけています。
He's not here? What about his store?
お店は立派な店員が代わりに当番しています。
An assistant? Where?
おほんおほん。
What is she talking about?
おほんおほん。
I don't see anyone.
おほん。
Lucy, who once stood tall with pride and confidence, is now almost broken down in tears. I wish she'd stop flipping through all these different emotions. But feeling bad for her, I decide to drop the act. Okay, I get it. You're the one in charge from the time being.
そうです、マスター。今はルーシーが店番をしています。
Her expression changes faster than the speed of light. Her sadness from just a moment ago has long left the earth in a rocket. But I honestly can't believe this guy. Leaving Lucy to take care of the store on the first day he's met her. Especially to such a ditzy robot. You need to have a few screws loose to think this would be a smart idea.
マスター、何か考え事でも。
It intrigues me that master is said in katakana instead of the traditional goshujin-sama. But I suppose she's not a maid or like a servant. I suppose that's fine then. I don't know, man. I don't know the etiquette of androids with owners. Something to consider. I'm not thinking about anything. And can you stop calling me master all the time? It's obnoxious.
でも、マスターはマスターです。
Use my name instead.
でも、ルーシーはマスターの名前を知りません。
Yeah, me neither. It's a mystery.
教えてください。
Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure I failed the last time I tried to tell her my name. How about I just tell her whatever that comes to mind? Okay. Alright, this is nice. Some user interaction here. Now that I think of it, it's pretty dumb. Fanarnar boy. I have an even better name. Oh my god, this just straight up rejects you. Thank you, Invislab. You played with the player. The name's Mr. Handsome.
マスター、そんな嘘は通じません。他人を騙すなんて良くないです。嘘は罪です。
So the robot has ethics implanted in her. Nice. So you're telling me I'm ugly?
わ、いえいえいえいえ。そういう意味で言ったわけでは。ミスです、ミス。
She curls up instinctively, thinking she might be scolded for messing up.
そうでなくて、名前に嘘をついたらダメってことです。本当の名前を教えてください。
How absurd. Upon what basis are you claiming that your master is not telling the truth?
さっき名前を入力しているのを見ました。
Oh, come on. Even the game's working against me. I don't even care anymore. Just call me Master.
はい、マスター。マスター。
What?
マスタ
What do you want?
ー。なんとなく呼んでみました。
Are you messing with me?
いえいえ、めっそうもございません。マスターと呼べる方がいて、とっても嬉しいです。だから、なんとなく呼んでみました。
An enormous smile blooms over her face. How could she have such a dull personality? Was she still broken somewhere? Or was she purposely designed to be so laughable? Maybe she's on drugs? Do drugs for robots even exist in the first place? I come up with a list of possibilities, but obviously I wouldn't be able to find the answer. The point is that I can't seem to keep up with this robot's pace. Where's the repairman when I need him? About 10 minutes later, the repairman finally returned. To tell you the truth, I was planning on approaching him first. But I never got the opportunity to do so. Because the moment he saw me, he threw away everything in his hands and charged towards me like a madman. Then he gripped both of my hands tightly. Please let me have Lucy! What kind of screwed up situation is this? He looks as if he's asking his girlfriend's father to let him marry her. I immediately announced my decision. No, I will not let you marry her. What do you want about? You hire something? That's my line. What do you think you're doing? The owner takes some time to collect himself. Perhaps that wasn't the best way to put it. Kid, would you ever consider selling me that android? This was completely unexpected. You want me to sell her? Yeah, I could give you this much. He takes out his calculator and shows me the figures. My mind goes numb for 5 seconds. Are you serious? Of course! What do you think? Not a bad deal for a student, right? Not even adults can easily find this kind of money, you know? Looking at the state of this old building, I wonder if he can really afford to spend that much. He's overexerting himself for sure. I stare at Lucy in silence. She seems to be frozen in place. She probably wasn't expecting this to happen. Now see, here's a guy who does not like androids or new technology in the slightest, and he's shown a large sum of money. Anyone in that situation would be inclined to sell the android, considering that they have no emotional attachment to this android, yes? Am I right? She returns a pained, somber look. I could almost picture a miserable, kidnapped slave about to be shipped out to sea, and there's the deterrent. Come on now, that's a little rude, don't you think? He's not about to eat you alive or anything. I turn back to face the repairman. You'd pay this much? Do you really think Lucy is worth that kind of money? Of course! He yells in excitement. That scared me. It felt like my eardrums were about to pop. Listen carefully. Any decently priced robot model comes with an AI or a module that allows them to mimic human emotions. You know this much, right? Yes, somewhat. Well, creating such a module is an incredibly complex process. Even then, do you know how well they perform it? To compare them to a real person, they still seem a long ways off. Exactly. No matter how much effort we put into making these modules, they can only copy humans in the most basic sense. It's not yet possible for them to feel, or to think, or to express emotions on their own. I think I'm beginning to see the picture here. Looking back at Lucy, I start to put together what he's trying to tell me. You're a sharp kid, aren't you? They teach kids pretty well these days. So what do you think I'm trying to say? Yeah, some pretty valid options here. Let's try the most ludicrous one. Does he actually vocalize it, though? Okay. Basically, Lucy is really a princess under a magic spell, which has turned her into a robot. To lift the curse, she requires a kiss from the handsome knight, right? The look in his eyes tells me that he's seriously worried about me. Specifically about my head. Alright, let us refrain from doing things that might permanently damage my reputation. Do you understand my inner self? I'm joking. You're telling me that Lucy is an exceptional robot, that's about as close as it gets to a real person, right? Honestly, I was quite surprised about that as well. I've never seen such a robot that could emulate a real person so well. Even the new models nowadays reveal their flaws after a minute-long conversation. But I couldn't sense anything particular out of place while chatting with Lucy. Sorry about that. It felt just like talking to a real person. Yep. To put it simply, this is a person made out of metal. A human robot. An Iron Maiden. A revolution in the robotics industry. The guy who created Lucy must be a true genius. That aside, good thing he caught himself before calling Lucy a certain power armor-wearing superhero. Nobody likes patent infringement lawsuits. Man, love the self-awareness in this VM. Absolutely love it. Anyway, if she was such a spectacular robot, would she really be thrown away like that? Oh, I'd actually found something weird. There was some sort of a built-in protection feature that was stopping the robot from working properly. A protection feature? I vaguely remember what that was. The useless junk version of Lucy might have said something about it yesterday. Whatever it was, she seems to be doing fine now. And you removed it? Yeah, it wasn't too difficult, since it was just one of those you put on display models. I'm just curious as to why they would bother doing such a thing before throwing it away. He appears to be lost in thought. It might mean that the inventor wanted to keep this new technology sealed away from humanity. If not, then maybe... What if there was a serious bug? That's what I thought too, so I ran some tests but found nothing. It's safe to say that she won't be harming anyone. Why would she ever want to harm people? She won't be posing any threat to people at the very least. I'm just saying that she properly obeys the 3 laws of robotics. The 3 laws of robotics. 1. A robot may not injure a human being, or through inaction allow a human being to come into harm. 2. A robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. 3. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. These laws allow us humans to keep the robots in order. They make sure that humans will always have authority over robots. Major catastrophes can be prevented as long as these conditions are properly met. I've heard that if a robot ever disobeys one of the laws, it would immediately shut itself down under any circumstances. That's why there aren't any glaring flaws to the system. I shift my focus back to the numbers printed on the calculator. Then I look back at Lucy. She's emitting the gaze of a forlorn puppy, causing a prickling sensation upon my face. After a moment's hesitation, she seems to have made up her mind about something. She slowly makes her way towards me.
マスター、お話し中申し訳ございませんが。
What's wrong?
多目的用途として作られたルーシーは本当に様々なところで応用が可能です。間違いなくいろいろなところでお役に立てると思います。
Yes, and?
ですからその
So what?
私
I never get tired of seeing Lucy look so depressed. It seems to have unleashed the hidden sadist within me. She was trying her very best to show off her charm. Essentially, she's a self-advertising product. You don't see that every day. But willing to go this far for me, it'd be too cruel to let her go at this point. I'm not gonna make the deal, so don't worry. As I finished my sentence, the looks on their faces were different as night and day. The repairman sulks while Lucy breathes a sigh of relief. Anyway, she's good to go now, right? Here's the money. With quivering hands, I take out some bills from my wallet and hand it over. My money. My money. The repairman hesitates for a moment, but finally takes it with a bitter look. For now, yeah. But be careful not to put any strain on her legs for a while. It's okay to move around the house, but she should avoid any extended periods of walking. So I need to carry her home on my back again? I guess it can't be helped. She's not too heavy, so I can manage. Well, that's it for today. Thank you. His eyes are filled with regret. He really doesn't want to let Lucy go. But I flat out ignored him and prepare to leave. I'll be sure to pay you another visit if something else comes up. Okay, but make sure to treat her well. And don't overwork her too much, alright? See you later too, Lucy. You can come visit anytime. The look on his face while waving goodbye to Lucy was truly a spectacle. This time he seemed to be the father seeing his daughter leave with another man. Guy's completely out of it. I've definitely made the right choice by keeping Lucy. I'd say that's an appropriate time to stop. Thank you very much for watching. That was part 3 of Lucy, the Eternity She Wished For. It is a $10 VN available, visual novel, available on Steam. I'm not sure how exactly long it is. From the reviews, I can discern that it's about 8 or 9 hours long. And apparently I'm supposed to stop after the 3-hour mark, or the in-game date of October 19th. So I highly encourage you to check it out, buy it if you're interested. It explores the topic of androids and the laws of robotics and what makes a robot human-esque. Very intriguing topics. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Toodaloo!